Yeah, Daz is so cool, man. He is the top G in his field, too. He is the top G in his field. Really when you say autoflowers, it is synonymous with the homie.
Well, that was.
I want you to hear the flute in there.
Oh,
This shit was money.
Hey, doggies, calm down. There we go.
I'm gonna be honest with you, buddy. Before we even start talking about herb and Maine and what is this coffee? Because there's like blueberry notes, and I'm loving this dude. You had me, man. He's got the fucking Joe.
This is a custom. This is like a half and half blend because we were running out of the blueberry, which is like a blueberry co-fermented coffee, and then strawberry co-fermented coffee.
So I actually never liked berry coffee. I like fucking...
No. This stuff is different too because like this isn't... It's not artificial flavoring. It's they literally put fruit in with the beans and let them ferment together. And then somehow through that process, the flavors translate. Which makes no sense to me, but it makes crazy tasting coffee.
Yeah.
The microbes, the fermentation microbes probably cross over would be my guess. Like, what helps ferment watermelon or strawberry is like on the coffee ground. Like, I don't know. That would be my bro science guess. Crossover enzymatic action.
What I was thinking about with fruit, I love sour diesel. I love gassy. I love I'm like one of those suckers. You know what I mean? And I wonder if that's the thing with fucking coffee. You know what I mean? Where I don't really like the berry stuff, and you're like a terpy, fruity guy. You know what I mean?
I feel like coffee's kind of like hash though, or you can
That's what I mean.
You kind of find whatever you like. Some people really do want it to taste like mud.
Yeah,
I'm not one of those people. I do like it more fruity and lighter. But this is so new to me still, and our homie Daz will bring over a bag for us every now and then. We've got one in the pantry right now that's a watermelon co-ferment, and it's smells like watermelon Jolly Ranchers in coffee form.
I fuck with it, bro.
It's cool too though, because they got cool packaging in the bougie coffee world. Like the watermelon coffee came in a VHS.
No way.
Container.
You'll appreciate, yeah.
It's so tough.
That's awesome.
I'll show it. I can show it to you whenever, but it's really and the artwork in the sleeve, it's all dreamscape early 2000s, Windows kind of Photoshop looking stuff. It's very cool. I kind of like seeing people in a different industry still putting the same sort of care into their packaging we kind of do.
Storytelling.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you ever watch A24 movies? You know, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I just was talking to Trav about that, and I got a Marty Supreme. You see Marty Supreme?
I haven't seen it yet.
Marty Supreme is incredible, but you'll see when you see the movie. What I got a basketball, a Marty Supreme basketball.
Okay, yeah.
And it came in this cool thing, and my receipt came in a ticket from a show.
Fire.
So it's I wanted to save my receipt.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
So I just think that shit's so cool. And that's been such a big topic that we have on this show all the time. And even when we all talked on the other pod about packaging. And there's so many people hate on it a lot. But actually, you know what's funny? On this Maine trip, the people Paper Mill and you guys, I went in there, I was like, oh man, he's... he's probably not going to care about packaging because his shit's so good and he's such a legend. But his packaging's the best and cares so much. He has the rind of the fruit.
It's perfect, dude.
It's crazy. And it's cool to see that you
I'd
guys
call
are
that
so
packaging
creative.
checkmate.
You guys are so creative though, with not just the product you come out with. And another thing I really notice is cool to see. We're talking about medicinal and how it's kind of going away. What I've noticed from this trip is what it remembers from Prop 215, Trav, and it feels like that out here again, and fucking I really hope it stays.
It is the closest to a 215 for sure. I got to taste the 215 days. It was such a beautiful time, and I do miss it very dearly.
And the weed was fire. Like
dude,
everything
the weed was
fire.
fire. The hash was fire. You had such a like variety of products, and I feel like I was out there in 2015, so I was pretty much on the tail end of the good days, and it just seemed like everyone was doing good. Stores were good, growers were good, middle people were good, consumers were happy. Like everyone across the board was feeling the vibe. It was a good time for sure.
Yeah, that's a good time. I feel like that's the tail end of the golden era, kind of like you said. Like
So
you could still see all of the beauty that was there, but in only like 3 or 4 years later, it would all be gone.
It was crazy, dude. Yeah, it really was. There were just dispensaries. I was in LA, so it was like I could see the full spectrum of like there were really terrible dispensaries in the hood that like really felt like you were going to like a knock house, and then you go up to like West Hollywood, where I remember going to Buds and Roses, where they valeted my car for me while I went to go buy, $65 eighths of flour and like bubble hash. Like it was cool seeing, and everything in between. Like I got to see the OG TLC that used to be in East LA. It was in the middle of like junkyards and chop shops. And then there was TLC, which is a big flat building with security out front, and you'd get your shit checked in the front room and then buzz through 2 doors, and it was just a huge open showroom, I guess, but you could still dab in there too. They'd let you like have like a dab bar. It was so fucking sick.
Yeah, I only really remember like Harborside Health Center and then Berkeley Patients Group. Like, and it's
those are in the Bay, right?
And how lucky
those
am
places
I?
were sick.
Yeah, and like those are the only ones I really remember, because then from there, when I moved out there, that was like I just went to those places because you can. I remember like when we started kicking it, Trav, that I was like, I just want to go to the dispensary. Yeah, and do you think that's still something people urge to go do?
I think maybe from like less legal states, it's probably still a pretty cool experience to go to the store and buy stuff. But now it's like there are just so many more options. I can't imagine it's quite as like lucrative, because like I remember when I was like a young buck, like end of college, kind of like we would always like try to go out to Cali once a year to hit the dispensaries, stock up on your personal stash. It was just like, and it was still a cool time. And now it's like you've got a lot of local people pretty much everywhere you go. You got the THCA thing going on. You go to your gas station or your head shop and probably buy like something. So it's like, I can't imagine it's got the same pull that it used to.
Yeah. And that's what's funny. We keep talking about this on my trip up here these last couple of days. It's, we're obviously in a bubble and there's like so much weed everywhere. There's competition, blah, blah, blah. But like, dude, we're all like putting our feet down. You know what I mean? And we all have like our own little like swagger to us. It's not even like, because I'm not even producing product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I can put myself out there and, put my flag in the ground as like a cannabis brand, but like there's so many flavors. There's so many people doing shit in different ways. There's so many different types of product. Like you were talking about, homie with the caps and stuff. Yeah, Cody.
Our buddy Cody.
Yeah. And
Shouts out to Tacoma Caps.
Yes, I was going to say, if he wants me to blur his name out, I will.
No, I don't think. I think he'll be glad for this shout out.
But that's like so cool. And then again, if you meet him, you trust him.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's the person behind that manufactured product. I want to learn more.
And like, I love Cody because Cody got into making caps. Like I got into making hash, where he just like wanted to consume connoisseur grade for himself, and there wasn't anything he could buy. So he just started making caps with like the odds and ends of his like fire head stash. Like the stuff that we all smoke, like Cody is putting into his personal caps.
He has his lane.
Yeah,
it's fire.
dude.
Yes.
Just
so cool.
I feel like the accelerated time frame at what he carved that lane to is something special, because I feel you as well with the Breakfast Connect, but I feel like Cody's just over a year with Coma Caps, and to go from like the genesis to how fast it moved up, like homie did that.
Because he's been
that super impresses me.
And yeah, it's all just organic. Like he wasn't even trying to. He just started doing something for himself, and then people were like, "That sounds cool. Like I want that." And then I think when you have a cool product like that and people want to buy it and you're like, no, I don't sell this. It
Yeah.
almost makes people want it more.
I was talking about that with my seeds earlier, remember? I was like, I'm not trying to sell them. People are trying to buy them. There's a big difference.
Yeah, when I first started
And I
making
told him
hash,
make
it
a
was like
website and
that.
sell them.
Well, yeah, right. All the farm bill is good.
Yeah.
I think that ties into the authenticity narrative that we've been talking about a lot, kicking it this couple days, and that I see on your mind a lot. You know, Cody genuinely just doing what he thinks is good.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Is top notch. Other people resonate with that. Like, you don't have to try it all. Like, you just do. And it is. You know, like,
he's just doing what he thinks is how things,
How to
and it
do
should.
it.
Like, his stuff is different, because he's not using bullshit material. Like, he's selective with who he works with. Like, and I think the lab testing is super important because, like, it's not mandatory. He's just doing it for the love of the game because he thinks that's how these things should be. I think, and I agree with him. Like, I think there's a lot of, we always test our products. I think there's a lot of bullshit on the market that's probably not even close to where the dosing says it is. And like, that's what's nice about Cody stuff. It's like, you don't have to worry. And it's also kind of nice too, because like, you know, everyone wants like 100 milligrams, 50 milligrams, 25 milligrams. And Cody like shoots for those numbers. But at the end of the day, it's sort of like, if it's 23.4 milligrams, like that's what he puts on the container. And that's like, it might not be that perfect dosage that someone's looking for, but at least, you know, like that's 100% like.
Sounds like the perfect dosage for what it was intended for.
And he tests the oil.
another level of
before.
authenticity.
So he tests the oil when it comes in. So he knows the potency of the oil and he can plug that into his dosing matrix for like, oh, if I want to make, you know, 25 milligram caps and I have a 75% testing decarbed oil, and, you know, I need this much MCT oil for the batch or whatever. It's like, and then he gets the caps tested when they're done to make sure they're ideally in the ballpark of what he was going for. So yeah, I like that. I think like that's, I like when I would rather see the imperfect numbers that are lab tested than like, you know, a nice round hypothetical number.
But you're talking about art too, bro. I always bring this up to him about like that feels like I was saying what it was intended to be dosed at. And when I go to these grows out here on this trip, they're all dialed for you guys. Like, and it's like you guys are, I don't know, man. It's hard. I shouldn't compare because we talk about comparing to like booze or like. I talk about like the Renaissance time now of like where these brands are going to be turning into, because I'm out telling stories and I'm like meeting people and seeing it, and that's kind of my goal, is trying to get people who are buying like end consumer products to understand the lineage of the people who are making it. And you guys have the fucking fingerprints, dude. Like you guys, when I go see the spots, it's uniquely Trav, it's uniquely you, it's uniquely Paper Mill. You know, it's like I get it every time I can't wait to see. Like, I got
a peek behind the curtain recently for the first time, and it was like I helped Trav harvest that orange cheese that we just washed, and it was cool because I've literally been to a part of the layer I'd never been before. I'm like, whoa! I'm like, I'm one more step in. Like,
Disclaimer: my homie is a licensed caregiver. Don't think anyone's getting think anyone's getting in my garden ever.
No, and I wasn't even in the garden. I was in the processing room. I still didn't see any live plants.
Yep.
I only saw chopped plants coming into.
It's a licensed podcast. This podcast is brought to you by The Bakery in Cohoes, New York. This is one of my favorite dispensaries in New York. They have the best menu. We're proud to be on it. The best staff. Mike has become like a mentor to us out in New York, especially when it comes to upstate. Be on the lookout for podcasts and more collaborations that we're going to be doing together. The Bakery, upstate New York, in Albany Capital District in Cohoes, man, that's the spot. Breakfast Connections Dutch Master hats are available now on breakfastconnections.co. These things are dope, paying homage to our original Connecticut roots. We're not able to put tobacco on the blunts, but the whole reason we even did the blunts in the New York market was that we found this cone that was able to like taste the weed and have that good experience that we remember with the Dutch Masters. So that's why we're kind of paying homage with the Dutch Masters hats. We're in tons of dispensaries from in the Adirondacks out to Utica, Capital District down in the Bronx, and Misha's Flower Shop in Brooklyn. We're going to be expanding into the city a little bit more. We also have Living Soil grown indoor flower that's going to be under $40, I'm pretty sure. That's a steal. Some of the best weed in the New York market. I feel confident in saying that. Around $40, that's pretty good. Look out for those bags, Breakfast Connections 8th bags, Breakfast Connections blunts. We still got some of those more affordable 8ths of the outdoors from last season, but we wanted to ramp it up with some more Living Soil indoor grown flower. I think that's it. Back to the show.
But that was cool.
Yeah. It's fire, man.
Trav's elusive, dude.
It's crazy. And you got to meet my brother, right?
Yeah, I met him a long time ago, I'm pretty
Doing
sure.
poker, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool to see you guys, because you guys got to another level. You know, it's like more lights and more fire, more strains. But like, dude,
I have a visual right now I can't get out of my head. I want to sidetrack real quick. When you guys say we leave our fingerprint in it, when I squish this and pull it apart, I quite literally can see Lobster and Mission. It's like I had a crazy vision when you guys were just saying that. Like those swirls and dots, those are our fingerprints.
Yeah.
Like I just had like a next level thought, and like it is fucking something special. Like that's real magic. Like this is dank, you know? Like
it's art to me.
the fingerprints there.
I know,
Like, I don't know where I'm going with that. I just thought it was something special, and I had to comment on it.
Yeah, I told homie, like even like you saw the big jar.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I want that. I was like, I don't care.
I've only seen the small ones, so it's like, holy shit.
I want that. You know, so
Those big Mirons are crazy.
what? So he was telling me a little bit about the Mirons. Is that like, do you guys know much about it? And like,
Yes and no. They're technically, I mean, so, and here's the thing, is like, I think light degrades material a lot more than people think about. And I have an anecdote to prove this, right? So I've got my freeze dryer downstairs, and they come with this like black thing that you can put inside of the freeze dryer to black it out. But I've lost mine. I don't know where it is. I don't usually use it. No, normally it doesn't matter because the trays are fully like, you can't like see them really with how the shelves are. But I've got like one tray that the light hits just right, that it actually light does hit hash for like the 12 hours it's in the freeze dryer. And I've noticed when I go to pull that out of the freeze dryer, there's a single band of discoloration just from where the light from the room hits the hash.
Very interesting, and that's a repeating thing. Like
For
it's a
sure.
trend. It's not a one-off. That's
I
wild.
I mean, some things definitely like oxidize or degrade more than others, but almost every
It's a
time
trend.
I could take a picture and show you like there'll be, and there's like downstairs right now, I'm 95% sure like if I pulled one of the trays, you could still see the band a little bit. I like chopped it up because I was trying to see if it was fully dry yet, but like just a tiny thin little band. And it's like, if you think about that in regards to everything, like that light will make your hash not as nice. It'll make your flour not as nice for sure. You know, even like, so especially like, I think we have switched to Miron jars now. They're not the name brand Miron, but they're UV glass jars. They serve the same purpose and like a side-by-side setting. Like I haven't noticed any quality difference, but I do think that it's worth it for quality preservation.
Okay.
Or anything with no light. The Mirons or Mylar bags even, like, but anything that's clear, that's letting some light in, it's gonna beat your stuff up without you even realizing it. Even if it's in the fridge too, you know.
I see a trend is definitely rising. Like I see more and more flour going into these packages, and I feel like the homies that were doing it before I saw it too common, like the homie NorCal Nemo, and the homie from Massachusetts. Homie's got the balloon, and it says Terps in the balloon. I can never remember his brand name. I know the homie. I'm not going to shout him out because he's just doing his thing. But I feel like Super Dank has been in these ahead of the curve a little more. And I think that more Super Dank is going into these containers now. But I'm going to forecast that before long, there's going to be swag in these same containers. And
I mean, that's happening
there
now
already
for
is.
sure.
Homie dumped it into the fucking ashtray, and I had to pick it out. Remember?
So I think
But
like
even hash too,
I
dude. I
think,
mean,
like,
Mirons
anything,
are pretty
it's-
much the standards. If you're not rocking in Mirons, you better have some like seriously
Well-
fire stuff because it's like just what people
Well,
want.
let me
it
tell
seems
you
like.
something. I think last time we played poker was over a year ago because it was
Yeah.
before before some things, I almost
Yeah.
I did good. I did good right there.
Yeah.
That's good, homie. But there were before some things that you guys understand. And
Or
it's
the crop.
yeah. And that's something I clearly noticed. You know, like coming to hang, it's like and am I wrong in saying that? Was that on and I just didn't notice it last time, or is it kind of a newer thing? It's like you said, you're basically saying if you're not in Mirons, you're kind of not top
I think
shelf.
the last like 2 years,
Okay.
it's because we switched over a little bit less than a year, and then before that, I was sort of really because we weren't using Mirons. I was using these clear child-proof screw top ones because I like the ones that we were using because they were more tall than wide. So I feel like, especially for rosin, when we were doing single grams in jars, it sort of kept the freshness a little better. Like there wasn't as much head space, but everyone just started doing the Mirons, and it got to the point where it's sort of like, I like to think we have very nice hash, and it seems like if you're not putting very nice hash in Mirons, people don't give it the same respect. So we're in Mirons, but our trade-off with the consumers is now our premium is only in 2 gram jars. So,
And did you
or
raise
you
the
can pay
price?
me. No, didn't raise the price. I kept the price because it's actually
So it hits.
the packaging price actually kind of worked out to be about the same.
Cool.
With the
2
stick,
gram.
with the like the cost of the jars went up, but because we're not buying twice the amount of stickers and the time it takes me to package went down, so it evens itself out. And I found that the people who like our gear don't seem to mind grabbing a 2 gram jar versus a 1 gram jar, and it's a little bit better for the environment.
Yeah.
I think anybody who does these Mirons though should be trying to do a recycling program because they are really nice jars. You can definitely clean them, and like all of my jars that I use for my personal stash are repurposed jars. Like,
Same with me.
And I think the original Miron jar thing was I think you usually would get like 1 Miron jar, and then you'd use that as your like personal container, and you'd refill.
The value's all there.
You
when
weren't
that's the
buying
case.
stuff in
1,000 of
Mirons.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think people do that still, where they sort of like hold on to their jars and they'll reuse them when they grab stuff. And it is a nicer container than usually whatever you're getting.
Yeah. And I also, to me, I think it's newer. You guys set trends out here. You notice that at all?
I don't know, because I remember even when I was in Cali in 2015.
I feel like I've seen them, yeah, but it was always kind
It
of
was
more.
less
It was
so,
more
for
exclusive,
sure. It would have
and
to
it was
have been-
always only super dank. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like muddied. How maybe now, like you guys said, there's already swag in them. It loses its meaning. When I used to see those jars, I knew what was coming out was going to be something special.
Yeah.
I didn't have to guess. Nowadays, it's
it was like when I was in Cali, it was like if you were buying a 3rd gen fam jar, it was in a Miron. And that shit was like 100
knew
grams,
what
but
time
you
it was,
knew it was about to be water. That was hash too. It was so good.
What are you smoking over there right now?
I'm doing a mix of the Holy Communion and the Durban Piff. You want to try it?
Yeah, dude. This is the homies.
That's that in Northern Lights 5 haze.
NL5 haze, yeah.
NL5 haze.
Dude, I wish I don't
You
know.
had to
what
light
I
it.
did. I had this box that had all this old packaging I was saving from like the good old days, like coin envelopes, a couple of jars that I bought from Cali. I cannot
Can't
find
find
it
it.
now.
That fucking
And I,
sucks.
'cause
Are
I was-
you looking real hard? Because I hate when I look that hard
I
and
looked
can't
for it
find
when
it.
we were on when I was on the live the other
last
day
one.
and we talked about it. And
I
got,
remember you were
I got
going to
go
grab it.
and then I was like,
I remember that.
Wait, shit! Like, where the fuck did it go? And then I like ran up and down, and I was like, all right, I gotta go back. Like, I can't just be looking for this. I still haven't found it.
Premium. What'd you think?
It's kind of churchy. It's hard for me to judge because to me the cannabis to tobacco ratio isn't
Yeah.
there for
Yep.
my baseline.
Yep.
It tastes a little blunty, even though I hate to say that as a blunt smoker. But I could taste the church through it when I was feeling the texture of it. I won't blame the grower, but it seems a little dry, a little over dry. That might just be because it's winter if you've been holding it for a little bit, so it might not be the best example. But I can taste it's got the soul. It's got the
yeah. I
it's
knew
got
you'd
the-
love it.
It's
I
got the
brought that
churchy
just
in
to
there.
show you. I've actually been showing some heads that because I just love to see.
It's authentic.
And he's like, dude, he's from Queens, and he opened a dispensary, and he's growing that, and he had some sour. That didn't last.
I could already tell the flavor though if it was like if I got it from him right direct and it was like at the peak freshness or aged right, and I could roll my type of blunt, I could see how
I got
it
that
would
from
be.
him 2 months ago.
That's what I mean. It seems a little dry to me, even if I'm assuming it's the way you stored it, not him. That's why I'm not trying to throw shade on the grower, but it's a little dry now.
You know how I do the DVDs and all that shit, and I collect shit. I do it with weed now.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy. But it's like, I just got with the light thing. I fucked that up. There's like some, like, dude, I got that 707 headband from 2 years ago.
You said it was
And
still
I got
smoking?
a nug, and it's still smoking. But it was in a light a couple times, like in the jar. It's a little browner. But like, that's what's, dude, I busted open. It's like fresh goo.
It is nice. Some stuff like I've got in my deep freezer, I've got a couple of fresh press Trop Cookies rosin jars from the first time I washed it, like 2019.
That's sick.
And they've gone through 2 houses, almost like at least like 5 years plus. And it's still like, if I pulled one out and let it warm up, it's still sap. It's still a good color, and it still smokes like orange juice. It's fantastic.
Yeah, man.
But not everything stays nice like that. I have a bunch of like rosin in like that same freezer stash that's just like basically sentimental jars at this point.
Yeah.
It's like I don't really want to smoke them because they don't taste good anymore, but they're important to have.
I have some bubble like that I made on the 2014 summer solstice. I collected the rainwater before I knew that it was pretty toxic. This is younger me, like trying to do my voodoo,
So organic.
So I kept like a really good batch of the Cook's trim. I collected the summer solstice rainwater and I washed it, and it came out like I tried to really imbibe some magic into this. This was like peak me being weird.
Intentional.
Dude, so I'm gonna tell
And
you.
I still have a little satchel of it. I actually smoked. I have like less than like a 0.1,
Yeah,
0.2.
you gotta
I
keep
actually dusted a little in a blunt a couple nights ago.
The sentimental Terps.
I was telling someone about it, and I was like, I only smoke it at special times. They're like, isn't now one of them? I was like, I'm sprinkling some.
like
in the
I
blunt.
got one of the jars from the first legal RI drop we did, and it's like terrible now because it was like fresh pressed, and that's buttered up because I didn't take as good care of it. And but it's like I can't bring myself to throw it out or smoke it, so it'll just.
So,
That
brother,
reminds me how you said though it's been through like 4 houses.
Yeah.
It's been across like a couple times. Like, but I keep that little. It's in like a vintage nickel bag type affair too, where it's
Fire.
just a little
That's dope.
seal. Like, oh, I love it.
so this is something I wanted to bring up. It's a good little segue. I didn't know that paper mill was from Rhode Island.
I don't think I knew that until just now. So.
Yeah, but don't worry, it's on the pod. It's known. And but like, you originally from Rhode Island?
No,
Like,
I'm from New York originally.
Okay.
I've had like a weird migration, and like I grew up in New York, went to college in Boston, and then after college I moved to like the Mansfield area, which is like south of the city. And then when I was down there, I was working in Rhode Island because
and you're in the weed game.
Yep.
Okay.
I was doing processing for RI's Finest Gardens.
That's the homie.
Shouts out the boys.
Yeah, he's the man.
And
There was a couple of them, right?
but yeah,
I haven't known one.
oh yeah, it's a full team, and they're like
Yeah.
they've like fully built out the facility since like I left like working down there, so it's like about twice the size from when I was down there, and it's a beast. But
They still have your.
They're still making
what he
hash.
told me is that he still puts your thing on to pay homage to you. Is that
my
cool?
buddy who originally got me the job down there is the one who's running the hash program now. And I still try to send them like hash cuts and like try to keep some like new flavors for them rolling, and
That's so
whenever
awesome.
there's a new
Keeping
tech,
them
I
laced
still
up.
talk. Yeah,
That's
I mean it's my
fucking dope.
boy. It's
Yeah.
like it was literally like my buddy at the time was working in like the trim room, and one of the people who were like the higher ups, like the bosses there, were like, we're thinking like we should like probably like start making hash. Like, do you know anybody who like could make hash for us? And my buddy was like, yeah, I do. Like, I very much do. And he like called me, and I was like starting to try to find some legal weed work because that was like the time when I was like, hash is out to blow up. Like, I need to fucking get some real like.
You hit that. That's
And
crazy.
yeah, 'cause that was I
You
think
hit the mark on that.
2017.
Yeah.
I think I started working down there. No, not 2017. It must have been 20.
Well, it was like
18.
shatter and then live res, then the rosin.
And
Right?
we were, and it was. I don't know why. I mean, the legal places always seem to adopt things so much later than the streets. So like, I was already like, we were already doing the damn thing, at the at my house, like on the hustle side, and it was just like I interviewed with a few Massachusetts spots, and they didn't see the vision. Like I remember interviewing a place now that's like making hash, and I was there in like 2018 being like, hash is like, he looked at me and he was like, do you even think you could like make like hash at scale? And I was like, I could make hash faster than you guys can dry and trim it and put it in bags. Like, but it's all these old white people who just don't see the fucking writing.
It's usually the debate. It's like, that's what they say. It's like, oh, we can't do that.
So I went to a few places and they were pretty much like, yeah, like we just like, we don't think we can fully invest in it yet, but if you want to like do some other work, we could get you a job. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then my buddy hit me up and he was like, hey, like they want to like do a hash thing. Like, do you want to? And I was like, actually, that sounds delightful. I've been in the market and like I've been familiar. Like I knew them from back in the day on the trap side.
Yeah,
so then it was cool to be like, yeah, like come down to the facility and let's talk it out. And it was I would eat food off of the ground on the floors there because it's so clean. Like their grower is a savant.
It's a Rhode Island thing I noticed out there. It's crazy.
It might be, but dude, the homie, RI's finest, Ken, who's like the head grower, like he is like, he runs it like the military. Like I've never seen.
Shout out to military minds.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, the things that we got yelled at for when I worked there were crazy because of how rigid his cleaning protocol. We got yelled at one time because we left the sink too wet after a hash production day. That is a word for word of what
you trying to grow mold.
It's the sink. I'm
speaking for him.
It's stainless steel. I mean, we dry
the fucking sink next time.
The sink was dried immediately after that, but it's like, but so yeah, they brought me down. They were pretty much like, we don't really know anything about hash, but we see what you're doing. We trust you. Like if you want to do it, and we had a nice deal, and it was a good time down there. Eventually, like I started in a tent with like a AC on scaffolding, basically, and like once we got enough drops to sort of show that it wasn't just like a one-time thing, that like you could consistently drop hash and make money, we built a like a proper like walk-in cool bot.
And you were doing it smaller scale on your own before that, really, and you were able to go in and like kind of put them on game IP.
Well, yeah, we were doing probably. Initially, we were doing way more on the trap side, and then eventually they started giving me enough material where it was like about like just as much on the legal side as we were doing on our personal.
And is that time. What kind of like took you? You saw that success, and you're like, I could just do this on my own, and then you.
Well, kind of, yeah. I just like
because that's really the beginning of the Maine Renaissance, right?
I've always believed in like rosin and hash, and sort of. I just like could see that it's like, if a store out here would just even do it like half as good as we're doing on the trap, like you'll do great. Because there was at the time, it was like, I think it was just like another place in Rhode Island. There was maybe one or two other people who were even dropping like good rosin. So it was just like, I just saw the hole in the market, and I was confident at that time with our skills because we'd been doing it for long enough that I knew I could do it solo. And the person I was working with at the time was like basically handling all of the at-home washing, and then I would do the Rhode Island stuff during the day, come home and pull the trays, pack the bags, press the rosin. So I was like working like double shifts technically, but yeah, I was just confident. And dude, there was just such a hole in the market. It was like, there are very few times where it's like, you kind of can look at something and you can really just like be like,
you can see the vacuum.
Like I know where this is going. Like I can just see the writings, and I think we like tapped in on that pretty nicely. So, and they're still going. They're still doing the damn thing.
So that's what I wanted to get to, because I want to talk to both of you guys about something interesting. I've loved this trip. This is the first time I've come out to Maine as literally trying to like find out more about like brands that I like / people. And there was like a big Maine Renaissance, right? Around like 2018. Or was it like a law change thing? Like what brought everyone out to Maine? And when was it?
I feel there was a slight law change for the caregivers right around that time, maybe 2019, where it could go from plant count to square footage.
Yeah.
That may have enticed some people, but I think more than that, it just helped people who were already here or who were going to come anyways. but I think maybe it's the exodus of other states.
I was gonna say,
I
like, personally
I
think
feel you could correlate when people were rushing to Oklahoma, they were leaving California. When people were leaving Oklahoma, maybe they were going to Florida or Illinois. And then when places like that collapse, I feel like this isn't on people's radar immediately because it's not super wealthy. Like, you're not going to come here. Like, there's no Chicagos. There's no Miamis here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is, like, a vibrant small scale. So it's like people like that, mom and pops, I feel like this is a place to come to. So I would say, like, it pulled people as far as pushing, like, yo, come here. There's game. It's like, yo, the game's there. Like, we can make a life, you know? Like, so I think it pulled people from a lot of other places. You know, when you talk about Renaissance, like talent, like drawing talent, essentially, if that's what you're saying, like
exactly.
When certain cities are, you know, if there's a music Renaissance going on in Memphis or something, all of a sudden people are like, huh, Memphis looks all right, you know, like the rent's still all right, like we got enough of gear, the gigs are paying out there, and people are really enjoying the music, they're coming there to hear the music, kind of like how here people want to come here and see
It's like
what we're up
trail
to.
shit, you know?
Yeah, so it's, I don't know, like
I feel like Massachusetts though shot themselves in the foot pretty
Elaborate
harshly.
on that. Do you think that people could have gone there is kind of what you're saying?
Well, no, like when I was first, but even before I was really starting up, like I was just a consumer. Like Massachusetts had great product.
When was this?
Tons of local growers. I was like when I was in college was like 2012 to 2017.
That was like when we were in the Bay.
And so that was just, and I started, you know, doing rosin in 2015. But until then, it's like there was always local weed. It was always pretty good. Like it seemed like at the time the laws were about as friendly as it could get on the East Coast. So that sort of like brought people and there
You're
was
right.
things
Mass
going on.
was on that early.
Dude,
they were starting to decriminalize.
For sure, there was
And,
med
like,
laws on
then
the
they
books.
started
They
to-
decriminalized
they built
it.
that up,
It
then
was
they
very
made-
friendly. Like I knew tons of people growing on like not like the big scales we see now, but like couple rooms in your house, your whole basement was blown out, like, and it was super friendly, and everyone felt kind of good there. And then, like, and dude, there used to be sessions in Massachusetts. It was vibrant, and then things went wreck. Medical kind of died. I still think it's pretty difficult for a small producer to get going in Mass. In Maine, it's not like that. You know, you could have, I think, like even the most expensive your caregiver car can get is like $1,500.
Wow, that's sick.
If you want to grow and process and like do
if you
wholesale,
want to take that chance, you could do it. It's
yeah.
affordable.
So it's
you
sort
know?
of like it's a no-brainer if you're in Massachusetts and like there's no legal pathway for you unless you want to put on an investor. Or you can
I
move
think
up
the
to Maine.
barrier of entry in Mass is
That's why I
6
moved up.
figures just to apply.
Yeah,
that
and,
doesn't guarantee
in
you
the
that.
bank. You have to have like
Yeah.
And there's so much competition.
Yeah, we
out
won't
there.
even go to all
Everyone
the
sucks. Everything
requirements.
sucks.
Just the
Yeah.
first initial payment is too much, and you're not guaranteed anything.
no, and
It's
they're
like,
sort of hamstringed by their
That's
testing
rich people
requirements.
shit. That's like
Yeah.
what fucking
Yeah.
VCs do.
There's very few
know?
good products on the market. It's like all of, you know, because like shouts out to Maine being reciprocal med state. Like if you got your med card from basically anywhere
Yes.
else, you can come
Huge.
and shop up here. So it's like all of my people who I've known when I was living in Massachusetts, like they'll still
Why wouldn't
come up
they?
because people would rather drive 3 hours round trip, spend a day in Portland getting food and hanging out and stocking up on their meds like once a month than going to their local Mass rec store that's got a bunch of, especially if you're a hash connoisseur, like you're really not buying good hash on the Mass rec market. Like there's a couple of small people, you might get some decent stuff, but it's like you cannot go shopping for the quality, variety, and price up here.
And I gotta tell you, that's a fucking beautiful thing right there. Is that like for Maine? Because I know
I thought you were pointing at the
No, I'm
filter.
pointing at the
I was like,
motherfucking
that's
camera
for
right
smokers.
there.
I was like, that's for the smokers.
you forget because it's such a big production. I'm pointing at a little phone.
okay.
Get
Sorry,
a
4K,
blinking
dude.
red light to keep track of.
But you know, I want to know about what's going on in Maine right now because like I just don't want that to get messed up. And Paper Mill said last night too. He's like, you don't want your fucking good small batch craft growers to go back to fucking construction jobs, you know. And but at the same time, like, how cool is that? Like what you guys just said. Like, and we come from like the trap market, so it's like the fact that you can like do that and it's normal and it's cool and people like the way you just pitch that and you didn't even notice it. You know, like come up here if you got a medical card, you could like actually experience cannabis in a really cool craft way.
I used to do the same thing with like beer back in the day. Like I used to be into like the fruity sour beers, and you know there's beer at every supermarket and gas station. But then there's a couple of these breweries where they're only making a couple of
If you're about
couple
it, you
hundred
drive to
cases,
Vermont.
and you got to drive and drop in
That's G.
Vermont or like upstate New York or whatever, and like people who really want like good quality stuff and sometimes deals, but I feel like quality is like probably a bigger
small
driving
batch,
factor.
high
Like
quality.
people will always put in a little bit more like work for hard to find quality product for sure.
You just got to know your market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't think you're going to try to like compete big and like, because in New York City, it's like such a different thing. You know what I mean? And like, that's why I enjoy coming up here so much, because like, this is the best weed in the fucking world. And you guys have cool stories to tell and cool brands. In New York, there's a lot of that, and I love doing it. But I wanted to come back up here to give a little look into some of these quality craft brands out here, and there's bridges that people can think about of why New York and Maine are so attached.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think it's super fucking interesting, and
Dude, I think a big thing right now too is like matching your output to your actual demand, not like what you think.
correct.
Like
I
think
was just talking
all
about
the
that with the
people-
homie this morning. Being able to project correctly.
yeah, because that's
Like
that's
knowing that the fruity terps aren't going to hit over the winter, and not having a bunch of totes or like stuff that's just sitting in the freezer, and when spring comes and hoping it goes then, like
Yeah.
there's an art to that. Like
I just think
and
like
it's
I think a lot of the problems with like why there's like so much mid on the market is because all these people like overexpanded and got greedy, and then when there's too much of mids, like naturally like the price starts going down. But it's like the people who I feel like are doing well, like Paper Mill and like you, like and like other homies, it's like they're all on the smaller side. They're usually minimizing their overhead, ideally having their grow on their property or something, and they're selling out, or at least making it very low before the next drop, and like that keeps the things fresh, and that keeps people coming back, because people love being told no as much as they don't want to believe that. Being told like, oh yeah, like I know you really wanted that flavor, but it's sold out and it's not going to be that for another 6 months. So maybe next time it drops, like you'll be a little bit quicker, and like it's like when you have
it's the best when it's organic too, when you don't have to force that, like only grow 2 plants of it to try to like when you can project just maybe a little bit less, like how Ferrari sells like one less car than they get ordered each year, so there's always one less than the demand at least. I feel like if you can get somewhere close to that sweet spot and like organically, like
do it authentically, because there's some motherfuckers out there that I know for a fact
you can't fake it, because
like
then people just
for
won't
sure.
buy it. It's hard to fake it and replicate it,
And like
you can't like just sell out just quick enough and continue to do that for years on end unless it's really happening.
Someone
I don't know how
told
to
me
describe it.
I
Or
should-
else you're not selling enough to stay in business.
But I think it
when
also
you fake it, you don't
exposes-
have enough sales.
when you're moving like that fast, like the freshness is real, and that's like Joel's stuff. Like we're smoking that as fast as he'll put it out for us. Like, and it's always good.
I
because
hear
of
the
that.
freshness request a lot more than I have in recent years. Like now,
I think
that goes to, like you say, people overproducing and products sitting around.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a new benchmark of quality. Even when some genetics and hashes might lend themselves better to being aged necessarily. Like freshness. That's a debate. Let's say some genetics might
for sure, I'll let it slide.
on flower even. Let's say some genetics might be better aged. Now, I won't use the word cured. People want it fresh now. Like to them, it's a sign of quality. Like, yo, this wasn't sitting in someone's closet the last 2 years, or this wasn't sitting in like some storage facility in a state I've never been to for God knows how long. Like,
I think people are getting a little bit better educated too. I think that's probably the one thing that's nice about if you go shopping at a dispensary, that when you do buy some mids and you look at the package and you see it was packaged a year and a half ago, you realize, oh, okay, I should be looking for stuff that's been packaged maybe in the last hopefully like 2 or 3 months, because I know it'll still be fresh and spongy and not bone dry. Because like I think that's the other thing about like the trap days, where there's like you would your stuff would be ready and people would be lining up for it, and everyone was kind of naturally getting it in the best sort of state because things were just moving a little bit quicker. People weren't sitting on packs like they are now. But freshness, I mean, in hash too, like we've scaled back like on the size, and I still have some like older flavors that I'm trying to move through, and it's just they're on the menu for a certain point, and people sort of like everyone's tried it and everyone wants to try something new, so it's like they don't get looked at the same way. It's like gotta just kind of keep cycling stuff in and out.
Rarely they'll get a following like that where it's diehard and like
Not
a cult
these
following,
days.
but not often.
We were just, I can't remember
Still
who
maybe, but not often.
Dude, were we talking about this at Poker Night? How back in the day?
What's the homie that runs the Pido, maybe? The Pidolo?
Oh,
he
Seymour
comes over
Terps.
and he's got the blue sweatsuit
Seymour, yeah.
every
Yeah.
time. Like that homie's like, I remember talking about only monocrop. He
We
won't
were-
bring another plant in the mix, so rarely.
We
it
were
still
talking about
works,
this on Poker
you
Night.
know?
I don't know if it was with you, but like I do miss in the like that good old days of like the sort of like 2015 to like 2018 where like the people who are doing it the best had a couple of staple strains. They would still sell out, but you kind of knew the next harvest you'd be able to get more. And then maybe once a year they would do a pheno hunt and you get to try some new stuff. And it was like I
And
kind
they
of
just
miss
got
that.
better over the years.
Yeah,
it's
'cause,
not
dude,
like,
like, people
batch to
don't-
batch was up and down, but I'd say the general trend with growers like that, it just gets better
Dude,
over
people like
time.
don't lock in like that, and I hate that because like I'm trying to remember like Freedom Brothers running like the Clementine. It was fantastic. And it only got better, and it was like you would always like he'd always run it. There would not be that much because it wasn't a yielder, but like if you could find him and you can grab it, you'd grab it. And it's like I remember this one old head who only grew like chems and cookies and like old G stuff.
Paulie had a homie like that, only headband, and it was dialed in.
It was, and I just, dude, like, I wish people, and like for us too, it's like I try to keep a couple of staples and then rotate things out, but it's like so many people just churn and burn, and like, you gotta have a couple of things that you like. And I don't even think these people like, I don't think anyone's even dialing stuff in because it's like, it's like, I don't believe people are changing up like their systems that much, and especially not for like strain to strain.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're like harvesting things earlier, but like I can't imagine, except for maybe people like Joel. Yeah. Like he, I bet does. I bet and I think he does have like different feeds for different strains, and like that's what we're losing.
The environment too. Like, does this genetic perform best under the CMH, the HPS, the LED, the regular MH? Running the plant on like, let's say, a limited round in each one of those, and then feeding them different other lights. Like if you do little A, Bs each time, it takes time, but you can dial it in. Like you can know which ones want what rooms and what conditions. Like,
and even dude, I miss that. Like I miss it when people would be like, I'm the chem D guy. I'm gonna grow a lot of chem, and it's gonna be the best chem.
Don't you guys never want to be that though? Like
I
you
do,
could be
no.
the I mean, look at him. Like he could be the fifth guy, but I know he doesn't want to.
I want other people to be.
Yeah.
And that being said,
You were kind of the first solventless guy though too.
But even then, dude, I was talking about this with another homie. I still have my old menus from back in the day. Like I could pull up a 2019 menu, and we still had at least 10 to 15 unique.
It's like
rosin
telling
flavors.
Prince to keep playing the hits though. You feel me though? You know what I'm saying?
it goes both ways. Like I want
It's
other
the
people.
consumer, you know.
I do want a variety of smoke. So like I'm smoking my stuff and I smoke other people's stuff. So I totally get the wanting variety, but I also do, and I guess like I don't know. I've got staples. I'm sure like you've got staples, and I'm trying to.
I want to be able to run so many different genetics, like any creative, like regardless of cannabis. I feel like we all have creative minds, and I hate that, like you're saying, only certain albums I know are going to get enough spins. Like regardless, if I want to go in a certain creative direction, like let's say, hey, I'm only making hash this year because I want to have fun and really explore modern hash genetics. That's not going to be well received. As you know, as Lobster, Trav might want to do that. As Lobster fam, I simply can't do that. So, but that being said, I want other people to dial in their genetics like we're talking. I want them to spend 5 years on it, then give me a batch. Don't give me on the second round, be like, yo, this shit's really smoking. Give it to me 4 years later, 5 years later, and be like, yo, I know what this girl likes. Like, this is last year's season was better under the sun. This is the hash from then. Like, so that being said, I don't mind falling under that, even though it's not my preferred. I want to be an artist like all of us. I have so many genetics that no one ever sees that I just smoke.
Can we talk about the one that's coming? You know what I'm talking about. Can we talk
think-
about it yet?
Fuck!
Did you guys have your heart broken?
Can I scream into this motherfucking microphone?
I'm gonna be right back.
I'm tapped in.
Girl
I'm
Scout,
probably loud as fuck.
Girl Scout Cookies is back. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Girl Scout Cookies is back.
Talk to 'em.
Specifically the Purple City Genetics version, which is the same one that I acquired in, I want to say, 2011. What year do you think those were?
That was 2012.
12?
2012.
Early 12, mid 12?
Harborside, right?
Didn't Skylar or someone got it? I don't even think I was the one who got it.
The Girl
I don't know
Scout,
if you
yeah.
can bleep the name if you want, but
Yeah.
one of the homies or bro, one of the homies that was in the Oak then got it. I don't even think it was me. The same as the White. It was one of those ones where it was like someone was just at Harborside, they saw it, and I was like, yo, I need that.
Some of those clones were like so legendary, bro. Remember the
Yeah.
purple Kush
So-
we had that we got rid of?
So
I think about that all the time, how
Girl
many things
Scout
left.
cookies is back. If we're doing a fucking hype up,
Yeah,
I'm
let's
fucking
go. I'll
hyped
clip
up
it.
on it.
I'll
So
clip it.
The Girl
Talk
Scout
to 'em.
cookies is back. This is a great part of the conversation we were just having for people that are watching this long form, and it's not just a clip. I ran the Girl Scout cookies for 10 years straight. And I'm saying greenhouses, full sun, different environments, basements, single-endeds, double-endeds, all different foods. I love her. She's back.
Yes.
And people know me, people know me for growing the NL5 haze derivatives. Since I've come out of the cannabis closet and I've been, kind of like a public face or whatever, or since the competitions and even up here, no one I've met in Maine in the last, let's say 8 years, no one knows me as a cookie person really, because I was still pretty hush when I first moved up here. I brought the cooks with me. She ran for 3 years or so. She's gone. Everyone knows me as an NL5 haze derivative, churchy, piffy, whatever you want to call it, haze grower. I am a cookie grower.
Yeah, one day we'll find the LA Confidential cheese too.
I am a cookie grower, and I am here to say that she is back, and I think the timing is perfect because 4 years ago or 3 years ago when I got rid of her, I didn't mind getting rid of her. I did a side by side with the White Runts. The White Runts was so similar, and to me, just a better growth. Where I got rid of her, I was like, whatever. That's what I mean. A lot of the homies didn't know me the first couple of years I was up here because I was still very quiet about what I was up to, and
he's gonna run it under HBS's.
I know. I'm gonna run it under everything and see. And
I love
know
that you run I want to call them almost retro grow rooms.
Yeah.
You're using outdated
the cookies love
technology
the sun.
on purpose.
That property that you saw, she crushed it.
It's like
that
filmmakers
property that
using
you saw,
film
that,
right now,
that crude ass property you saw, she crushed it up there.
Dude, I seriously think because everyone talks about the sour is dead, the sour is gone, and I'm I think maybe if we just reverted back to our shitty grow ways and growing with the single ended HBSs and shitty nutrients and no control over your environment. I think maybe we could coax
Wild
some flavors back.
temperature
All
fluctuations.
general hydrochromics under a fatty HBS.
I think about it all the time. I always wonder if there was a nutrient that was later banned or if there was just something that people were using, because I can't just imagine a whole flavor profile totally dying like that.
The biggest shift I have seen when it comes to flower, because we all talk about it, we've been in this a long time, all of us, is the LED lights.
Yeah,
That's
they're so different.
The biggest change I've saw in
I miss my
weed.
HPS.
I've never done one run with the LED myself.
I
so
started
it's
with
You don't have
I-
one LED in there?
I've never vegged, flowered, cloned. I've never.
I'm the
I
opposite
plugged
of
one
you.
in one time at a homie's. He was kind of daring me to do it. I was like, I've never done it. He's like, you won't even plug it in. I was like, I've never done it. He's like, plug my light in for me. And
So
the way
funny.
he asked, I was like, I'll plug it in.
It's funny.
I started with LED. I remember, we'd get the blurple shitty Amazon LEDs. That was the first thing we ever bought. We immediately realized those were terrible. And right when I started growing, when I graduated college and could actually buy a tent, I think Fluence just came out and they just dropped the Spider. And I was like, that's the one. So I jumped in immediately with the LEDs. And that was all I knew for a while. But I do miss the HPS. We were running the HPS when we had our bigger spot.
When did you stop smoking flower?
I mean, fully?
No,
I'm
give
trying
me
to
give me the story. Give me the path. Walk the path.
Nah, dude. I mean, when I was in, so all right, I get into college. I immediately make friends with a nice group of friendly stoners, and this is at the time we were just smoking flower because concentrate was still impossible to get regularly. And I just remember we got to a point where we were just ripping full gram snaps through intricate bongs and ash catchers, and I remember getting tar on my teeth and resin on my tongue and tears up your lungs it doesn't feel good. And I'm not even getting that high. I'm really just in pain. And I was like, when we get the dabs, it's like you take one dab, it's so much more flavorful. It doesn't hurt my lungs. I'm high for so fucking long.
Good pitch.
And that's when and then once concentrates became like more regularly available, it was sort of like, why would I spend like, you know, $100 on an eighth or whatever, or like a quarter of flour when I'd rather just get a couple of grams? It'll last me so much longer. Like,
Oh, is this technically at like the Mission Hill, like in Mass when you were starting to do that?
I mean, dude, I was.
But I'm a fan of your brand, so it's like cool to learn of these things, you know?
I was getting like the summer before I went to college when I was 18, when I was still in New York, I was able to get my hands on dabs a handful of times. One of the times I made it with some kids in my grade in like a backyard, you know, glass tube we got from the head shop, Pyrex, on a pancake griddle outside, and it was like, I can show you a picture of that. It's gnarly. And like I bought it a couple times, and then once I went to college, the first homie I met, my buddy Ben, who was from the Bay, we immediately clicked at fucking orientation. Shouts out to my dog, and he was immediately like, "Oh, like, you know, like we would just go to the clubs." He called it like the dispos. We would go to the clubs. And I was like,
clubs is like locals call them always. Yeah.
And so he was like, I was always like, he was disappointed with the quality of the local wares, as sort of I was too. Like I was getting custody in New York when I was in high school, but the weed was much better than the average.
What was that like? And where'd you grow up in New York?
I grew up in Westchester. I grew up just north of the city, so I had the best of both worlds. Where I was like, my first couple times I got high in the woods.
Peekskill's my favorite town. That's where I was telling. That's where like I think I'm gonna move.
I was like southern Westchester. I was in Hastings, so right next to Yonkers. So I was like,
so you're in the city.
I mean, I was 40 minutes from Grand Central because we would take the Metro North in and like do our shit.
It's a cool place.
It was great. I got to smoke weed in the woods, and I got to go into the city and buy a bong at St. Mark's Place at 14 because like that's what everyone did at the time.
That's
and,
where
like,
I think I'm gonna plant my flag out there.
Getting weed back.
I like that.
It's a great. Dude, I'm blessed for where I got to grow up, and like the weed was really good. Like, and you were either getting it from. I had a couple of homies who'd go into the city and get the Italian delivery service, the glass vials for anyone.
Squares?
No, not the squares. They were actual glass vials, and they were so expensive. But the weed was unfucking believable.
How expensive? You talking like 60 and 8?
It was like no, they were $50 and $100 jars, but it was like a 1.75 for 50, or like a 4.3. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. But the weed was so good.
I don't even remember. We just talked about it.
I know exactly
That's
what it's
how
from.
it
It's
was.
from the Fabulous Rhyme when we were bumping early ghetto fab this morning. He says, "Swoop by Branson, get a 50 jug or two." And he's like, "Damn, 50 and 8, that was a good deal back then." I was like, "No, he said jar or jug."
Yeah,
that's
You
a
were
2
literally just-
or a 2.5, maybe a half eighth if it's fluffy.
Honestly, it was
maybe a 1.5 or 1.8 for 50 if it was fluffy and dank. Like that was a jar, not a fucking eighth.
For me, that's what I missed most about weed, is that the magic of acquiring it is gone. I really do miss when part of the adventure was just getting weed, and like people who are just like starting smoking these days, like it's a totally different world.
All right, so hold on. I feel that, but have you been into a New York legal dispensary?
I haven't been to a New York legal one, but I mean, when I was in, I've been in Cali,
and I know you're right. And yes,
I've been
so
to
that's-
TLC in the rec era,
then,
so like I've seen.
So anything I was gonna tell you, you still are
It's
that
still
way.
cool, and I do, and like
because they gave licenses to hemp growers,
which is sick. That's
and head shop owners,
God bless them,
and people who went to fucking jail.
good.
Like, but you know, like, and those there's some cool. Obviously it's. I know some places that are immaculate marble, and they have like crazy rocks and shit, and they're like, but they're big money people. They're the guys who like own all the liquor
and
stores.
that shit's awesome.
But there's also one of us who was like in the game that like got a grant from the state because they did time hustling like we do, and they have this dope ass store that tells the story of one of us.
That's pretty sweet.
So there is. So I'm thinking, younger generation. I'm happy that they get that. So I agree with you, and I'm right there with you. We came up in the same
This
era.
is what my childhood smoking version of me always wanted. It was always this.
Yeah, and I hear that a lot. And dude, what's so funny about New York is like homies from there have branched out because like you guys had to get the fuck out of there.
I did. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like that's your home, but like you made your what's like the term, like the saying, made your like, you know, got your fucking badges or whatever. Made your something.
Stripes?
Yeah.
Got your stripes?
For
you
sure.
got your stripes like rushed around. We all did too. We all got out and we're like, we're going to go do this weed thing and it's not cool at home because I've been selling weed here and they want to put me in
Basic
jail.
training kind of is how I'm thinking of it. You get your basic training and then you leave to go fight a battle somewhere else.
And we got our scars to prove it. And like, but that's what I was saying. In the blissful thing before about like, we're kind of recession proof, like us, not even just weed, but like brands. Like we could.
I also I think when I think about those times, I also forget the deep stress I felt about even holding and like getting pulled over.
It's
like
a safety mechanism in the brain. It erases a lot of the negative memories. Like that's why like only real trauma sticks kinda, and it's like long lasting, but it filters out a lot of the shit. It's like sometimes the good old days were the bad old days. The brain doesn't remember. It only remembers, I remember I was in this good relationship. And I was getting super dank. I was like, I just got punched out that week before that. Or like, crashed my car or like some shit. Like,
it's like, it gives me like when I went to Amsterdam back in the day where it's sort of like, you've never experienced weed being, even like when I was in Cali, you know, it was still sort of like when I went to Amsterdam, it was like, like you can just smoke weed anywhere. It literally doesn't matter. And that just peace of mind is like kind of like now how I feel when I go to New York, where you can just smoke anywhere. You're smoking outside. You got a bag on you.
I was like, trust me, that's what it's like.
And that is like
freedom.
Because I remember I've gotten pulled over like in New York before, and like, you know, should have realistically gotten in trouble, and like by the grace of God I didn't. But like, oh my God, like that fear of being like, I just ruined my whole life because I just want to like go smoke a fucking bowl like down my street.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
That being gone is.
It's so crazy
nice
where we've come to. Just like thinking about that.
Oh my God,
you know?
yeah. Kids will never have to feel that fear.
Yeah.
Or you have to be doing a lot sketchier.
Which
stuff.
I'm like proud of in a way. I wear that as a badge of honor. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I like New York so much, is because there is like, you could smoke freely.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
But you know, they're about to allow consumption lounges. And when that happens, it's gonna be insane. But a lot of people are saying that they're gonna take that freedom away. They're gonna basically be like, you can't smoke outside anymore, but you can only smoke in the lounges. And it could be like a political money play to basically kind of almost muscle you, like you can't smoke weed.
You're hurting all the smokers into a pay to smoke environment.
And trust me, they're gonna try, because I know
and
as
that's a
someone
way
who
to
did
direct
it's hard to
sales
make
too.
money.
It's like, not only do we have a consumption lounge, we also sell product. That's a way for them to like steer their own sales, and they can sell their own.
What they did was
product.
cool. They gave micro licenses, and they can do that. They can have a dispensary, but they have to be
all in one.
They technically have to be. No, they have to be detached. But like that's actually harder for people than you know, because guess who they gave all the micro licenses to? Us. And like we don't have like investor money, but like we get things done. Like we get it. We go out and get money, but it's like we get money, but like we're like
do this.
Saving it. I don't know. It's like run a consumption lounge. To run a microbrewery of weed would be fucking hard for us, right?
Difficult.
To like actually do that.
No, for sure. Unless you
turn into a bed and breakfast.
Well, you would
I'm
sort
gonna
of have to.
I'm going to be straight up. I don't think it's the best business model. I'm going to be.
That's a love of the game type shit.
I'm going to be straight up, and I don't think consumption lounges are going to pop off or serve as much a purpose as so many people speculate and forecast that we need. It's not like alcohol, where like, let's say a place where we go to drink coffee, a cafe or a bar. People go there to be social. By the time most people are halfway through their joint or got a couple dabs in them, they kind of sit like this and get uncomfortable. Not saying that's all hardcore smokers, but unless you're a hardcore smoker, most people want to be in a safety zone. It's not like caffeine or booze. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as popular as people think. Like that's my forecast.
I disagree with
Okay. So you go now.
Personally.
What's the other side?
Because you know what?
The debate. I did it the longest.
I'm going to keep it a buck with you. When New York first legalized stuff, I miss there used to be a ton of lounges.
They're gone now.
And I used to go, and they're gone now. Yeah, and they're all gone. But dude, I can't tell you how nice it was for me. Like, dude, when we got married, and we got married in the city, and it was nice being able to like come to town, go to a hotel, drop my shit off, and then tell my homies like, because I can't have a fucking session like the nice hotel room. It was nice to be able to be like, let's meet at this third party spot, you know, buy some drinks or whatever they were selling, like enough to be like worth their time.
Get a table,
yeah, and it was nice to just be able to meet
that's
people.
a tough margin, trust me, brother.
And like I mean, like, you know, we tipped them, and like I try to definitely make it like worth it for them, because I truly appreciate that service. And Han and I talk about it all the time. We're in Maine, the weed capital of New England, I'll call it,
The vacation state.
I know so many people who smoke. And unless like we're going outdoors for like a, you know, like a hiking or like going to like a river or something, it's like the wintertime is tough. I want to go out. I want to be social. Like, we're blessed that we have a nice home and like I can host people here. But it's like sometimes I would just like to meet all of the homies elsewhere and do something.
Yeah.
And it's like we just don't have any fucking options. And it's like weed friendly movie theater or music venue would be fantastic. Like. And it just blows my mind that there's not just like a third party place that we can all go and smoke together legally. Not that like I really care about that, because it's like we're all consenting adults burning a plant together. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, but it's crazy to me. Like,
well, Maine's laws are bad for it.
Maine laws are
crazy
stupid.
Indoor smoking laws here.
I do, but like, I don't know.
Massachusetts just did something. Massachusetts.
Are they also
we'll see. As they roll out, we'll see.
I think
because it's an interesting debate how we see it both different ways. I think too. I don't think it's going to be somewhere in the middle, though. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, there's casual clubs here and there, maybe very sporadically. But I think either it's going to pop and be something,
New York City's a different animal.
It's going to for sure. And I feel like
they do some crazy shit out there everywhere, and you would never
I think
unexpected.
It's all about how
New York City is different too. Space is a hot commodity. If people are in their small apartment all the time,
even
it's
like I remember going to Colorado way back in the day, like when I had friends out there, and like just having spaces that are 420 friendly for people to rent. Like, there are so many businesses who are always looking for places to do stuff, and like you can make money like renting out for like, you know, dispensaries and like stuff like that too. Crazy. Like, there's got to be like, I also think too, it depends on sort of like, think about how many different kinds of bars there are. Like, if you want to just make dive bars, like I'm sure like that'll attract different people. And if you want to build out like a whole sort of like
sports bar versus a billiards hall, like it attracts different crews.
I think it all depends on sort of like what you want to cater towards, because I think
you have to be creative. You have to make money off entertainment. You have to make money off beverages. You have to make money off snacks, because
but I know for me it's like
commercial kitchen. They're not gonna allow that.
I agree that would work if there's entertainment along with it. Like having an event and having a space to host it, where people that are smoking their doobies and dabbing, they have something to look at and not just get uncomfortable and get withdrawn. Because I feel if it's just like a lounge environment, most smokers, it's not social lubrication. They need to be entertained. Like, the first time I noticed this was Hippie Hill 420 in the early days out there. After 420, and this is before it was, I know it's a big event now, but it used to just be people shoulder to shoulder and like maybe a musician here or there. But like after 420 and all the smoke clouds went up and all the roars died down, there was just thousands of people looking confused.
Yeah.
Like, and these are all seasoned, lifelong smokers, but by 4:35, it was a shit show. Everyone's wondering where they parked their car. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Like, after my couple times going, I just didn't go anymore. It was like, my car's going to get towed. And after the 420 and the huge novelty cloud, everyone's lost. It's like people need some
low energy. I know what you mean, because like I've heard so many like rappers and comedians always complain about doing like weed shows, and because like unfortunately it is true that it's just like there's not the same.
Yeah, you sit there like this.
Like, I can't. Like, I'm
a
pretty
lot
sure
of consumers, especially if they're going there to get stoned, like this is their like time of the week or month when they get ripped. Like, they're going to be ripped. They're going to be overwhelmed. So it can't even be interactive entertainment. It has to just be like, I'm dancing, like someone's like giving you something to do, like an event, like you say, or like if it's a movie night or like.
I did it for 2 years.
Yeah.
and it's
What
hard.
was the setup like? What was like?
Well, I had a couple different setups. So I rented out. You know Rhode Island, the Tetrahydra Club.
Oh yeah.
So I rented that out for a year, and it was one of the biggest ups and downs of business I've ever been through.
That place was tough though, because that spot's kind of out there, if I'm not mistaken. Like even
North, it's over by URI.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna get college kids.
I just remember
like
it was
the first step, because I was just like hustling. I thought it was a good idea, just like
for sure.
Here's something we'll get back to. Just like you felt about hash, I felt that way, and still kind of feel that way because I've been in New York City about lounges. So I will give you guys my point of view on this now, because I rented that out for a while and it was the biggest disaster. In the beginning, because like you just think that people are gonna go there, and the biggest advice I got. Jordan, shout out you for better or for worse with our relationship. He gave me this advice. You know,
Nice.
People have different opinions on him. You know, he said people go to bars, they don't want to stop drinking, and they never want to go home. When you smoke weed at public places, you usually have to stop smoking weed, and you need to go home. So that's great advice for anyone that's getting into it.
Heavy game.
And it was a disaster until and he was cool. Like he literally was like, because I went to him and I was like, dude, I can't do it. Like, I have to stop. Like, I have no money, and I just got a house out there. I was helping out my parents. Like, I just couldn't do it, dude. And he gave me a shot. He just like, dude, just I'll give it to you for this price. He like dropped the price on me or something like that. He helped me out.
Help you out.
And dude, people just started coming. And I don't know, it's one of those things. And I did movie nights. I did. The biggest thing was
pairings. You were doing pairings. I feel is when it clicked on.
Good
right?
vendors and entertainment, like with stoners and these public things. Like you need to, dude. They're like from Seinfeld, like the squeeze, like a squirrel. You know what I mean? You're trying to like have them come close to you. You have to like lay out a game. You have to like put it right there. You have to like
100%.
You can't sell a ticket. You can't sell a ticket, and you can't tell them what to do. You have to give them options. Options. And if they want to do it, then they could pay. Come for free, and there's things that you need to sell, and you can't sell weed. That's the game.
No, that's
literally the game.
I've been kind of preaching that too, because I feel like, especially on the hash side, there are two kinds of events right now. There are competitions, and there are farmers markets, and those are both great. But that's all there fucking is.
Gem.
And there's pretty much nobody thinking outside of the fucking box to do anything but that, and that annoys me because like right before the pandemic, like we called it the Mission Hill Block Party, where we rented a fucking dope ass party house that had a pool, and I had homies DJing, and I cooked a whole pig, and like I did sell tickets to it, and it was like, but it was, you bought a ticket, you got food, everything was included, you weren't. Well, like you just said, I wasn't selling it. There was an open hash bar. Like you bought your ticket. There's a literally 4-ounce jars hanging out. Like help yourself, and like it was great. And that was truly like to this day like one of the most fun events we ever did. And like I didn't really make any money on it. Like I broke even, and I had a great time. And I got to like put a bunch of like my homies on. Like one of my homies did like all of the cooking and sides except for the pig, and like. I had homies selling merch and like doing art and stuff, and it was just like, and I feel like we need more of that stuff, like where you are doing stuff with like weed should be the accoutrement, like you're
the underlying current to all the other dope shit.
We all make enough money to sponsor this and make this happen again.
Well, so Han and I have been planning some stuff, and we've taken some time off of throwing events because we've had a bunch of like other things going on, but we're starting to get back to it. And one of the things that I've always wanted to do that we've talked about, and that's, I think we finally found a venue that will work for us, but we're going to try to do something called Camp Melts, which is where we found a super, super cool like campground. It's a little bit out of the way, but like we're going to make it worthwhile for people. And like our goal is to have like a Friday to Sunday or like maybe even Monday morning thing where ideally it'll be like you sort of like we'll have a couple of packages based on like the cabins and like the rooms that they have, and like same thing with the block party. You buy a ticket, it's all inclusive. We're going to cover your food and your drinks. Like you'll have all of your sort of dabbing and smoking essentials at your cabin when you get there. You don't have to worry about anything. And I really want to make it just like how camp was back in the day, but just, for stoners, and like ideally have like a couple of periods, and like you could have like 2 options. So you could go do, like arts and crafts or kickball, and like we're fucking smoking up the whole time, and like have dinner and like lunch and like music at night, and kind of just like
not a session, not an award show. He's right, and like for fun,
Yeah,
just
just
fun,
like,
like
dude,
a
it's-
adult field day with weed,
and like because I feel like that's sort of an experience that people would pay the money for, because it's sort of like
You'll remember it.
yeah, and if
Yeah.
you know us, like the food's gonna be gas, like it's gonna be a real thing. And
I can vouch for that.
the
Whatever it's worth.
location we're scouting is truly like out of my dreams. Like it looks like you're in like a Wes Anderson movie. Like
Cool.
the cabins are like
That's funny.
are like new and funky. Like the people put a lot of effort into it, and yeah, I just feel like it's gonna be a vibe. I can't imagine that.
So we're getting this. There's this mini. You ever seen those mini donut conveyor belt machines?
Yes.
So we're gonna get one just to give them
Nice.
away, and if you
That's
whatever
awesome.
whatever you want sponsorship, like for whatever you need
Dude,
to
yeah.
help it for that, I'll go out there too and just like give out free mini donuts and
and
shit.
that's like, and like once again, it's, would I like to make some money? Yes. I'm also 100% down. As long as we break even, like I'll be a
Yeah.
happy camper. And like, I just want to do more
You're doing it
stuff
for
like
fun. You
Well,
want
we've
to
got-
have fun.
we've had a bunch of good ideas that just like, especially right now, because like the economy sucks, and like it's harder to like get people to sort of spend like large chunks of money, sort of like that. But like we were talking about wanting to do almost like I don't even know how to describe it, like a social club, but sort of a thing where we would take like a concert or like some sort of like event, like a sporting event, even like we wanted to start doing a thing where we would organize like start to finish trips fully encapsulated. So like you want to see Billy Strings, and he's playing in Portland, Oregon. So we would post up a thing within like our like network and be like, we've got an experience. We can do 10 people, here are the rooms and like the like pricing for the weekend. And it'd be the same sort of deal. We would like maybe let you guys like organize your own flight sort of things, but we would do like transportation once you got there. Same deal like as like the camp melts, where you get to the house and you'd have all your things ready to go for you. We'd have, food provided for you. Maybe we could have like some mutually agreed upon like excursion one of the days, like paintball or, like off-roading or just like cool stuff. And then when the sort of event that brings you all together comes, like a concert or a sporting event, like we handle transportation. We'll get like a party, like a party bus sort of thing, or like a Sprinter van where you can still like smoke and get fucked up, and you don't have to worry about getting an Uber or anything.
Yeah.
Like, and just sort of things like that. Where once again, we're not selling anything. We're just providing you with all the tools to have a good time, do some networking too, because you're going to be hanging out with a few other stoners who obviously like similar things to you. You're going to be at least smoking hash and wanting to see a mutual event together. So you probably got more stuff than that in common.
Yeah, and then so going back to like the lounges atmosphere. So I did like the bigger thing at the Tetra, and then like me and Jordan had a fallout, like everyone does.
Yeah.
And then I actually had this house, and the address was 420 Kingston, and it was in Richmond.
Nice.
It was so cool, and that was where I was growing, and that was where I was like I helping out my parents. They were crashing there for a little bit, and then it was zoned light industrial. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I always had like some, shady Rhode Island fucking lease to where like I put down a down payment in cash, and like, let me just say that I'm not there anymore, and I didn't get any money back.
The security deposit's there.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I was just like, entrepreneurial, and I got my parents another spot. We stopped growing weed, and I was like, I'm just gonna move this club over here and stop growing weed because I'm not that good at growing weed. I've had like I grew up with these guys with growing, so I got away with stress to success, and I know how to cure weed. I know how to trim and cure weed really well, and I got good genetics. And
That is the hard part, though.
yeah, and then so what I did is I brought all my members from there to my spot, And at one point, dude, I had 50 members, and I was like doing 3 nights a week, and they were paying me $50 a month. And they were allegedly other things. I sold a lot of merchandise, you know what I mean? I actually sold a lot. I really did sell like a lot of candies and Capri Suns.
I believe that.
Remember Remember that room, homie? Remember Travi, the blackboard on the like with the little menu of like Capri Suns, and it was a donate thing.
Yeah,
and
of
I
course,
did learn that
yeah.
from Jordan too. Like a great way, dude.
Always sell water.
This is the
drinks.
way you do it, dog.
That's where the money's at,
it's
dude.
membership fee, and you leave out a donation, and you give it all away, and you make a menu that's like, this is what I would sell it for.
Suggested donations.
That's the way we did it, and we did it underground. And then I got my license because a homie that I used to sell cookies to from those harvests. That's hilarious. From those harvests, I used to sell cookies to these rappers in Peekskill, New York, and he got his license. And he was like, dude, I know you have fire weed. I see what you're doing like with your brand. You should apply for these licenses. And if you remember, I called you the last day, because we did it at the last hour. And I was like, yo, New York's popping. Like, do you want to get in on this and a license? And you were kind of just like, go get one, young homie. You know, you were
Classic trash.
He's like,
Classic trash.
he's like, why are you calling me? He's like, you were basically just like, go do your thing, you know? And honestly, we've crushed since then. And I basically like took an L on the whole thing and lost the property. But I was like, I'm broke and I'm going to go out here and do this. And we're crushing it. So, but like, so.
Good learning experience.
But that's the thing. It's like, I wonder if it works. Because those things were cool. And he's been there. Like, they were cool.
I mean, you definitely like have to
I started
thread
this
the needle.
podcast in there.
I think you got to have a lot of things. The location's got to be right.
You gotta own it too. You should own it.
It's got to be central enough that you can pull like a lot of people. You got parking's a big thing. I mean, and then it's just like, I think once again, like sizing for your market and like making sure that like, I think you have to truly find just like a perfect spot, sort of where the rent makes it worth it too. Like, you can't be bleeding money on rent, and then like, I think you have to have like as low overhead as possible. But I think if you can. I think the location-wise, if you could find a good location and you set it up in a way where, like, I think just like think of it as just a lounge and thinking of it more as like a cannabis-friendly venue almost, like, will open you up to a lot more.
I'm surprised we haven't really
possibilities.
seen too much of that.
Yeah, I like if I had
if you had like a bunch of money and you're like an
someone
entrepreneur
with big money, that's exactly what I would do. I would be putting in
or like
weed-friendly music venues, not huge, but good enough size,
just
and
keep it only stoners.
And like have sick ventilation.
Maybe it impacts insurance where no one can do it. There's got to be
100%.
something.
Bringing
that
the
we're
usual suspects.
not-
A Marley kid.
I mean, you got to
slightly stupid. Cypress Hill.
You definitely need a good lawyer and some properly phrased wording. But like, that's what I always think about. It's just like,
Actually, a really good idea.
because I like, dude, it's like, and if you think about where you can do alcohol, and if like you think about how many people are there and spending so much money on that, if you can make a 1/20th of the size thing for weed
You're
people,
absolutely
I have
fucking
to
right.
imagine you'd be able to do well. And it's sort of just someone will do it at some point.
Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it's just this legalization
talked about
bullshit.
too, like,
I wonder if it's just that. Like,
weed-friendly Airbnbs too. Like, I don't know how you'd have to word that.
there's a thing.
So it's
There's an app for that.
good.
There's
Thank
a
God,
thing.
because there needs to be. Because I will always pay a premium if I knew that I could just do my thing without having to like, is the Airbnb person going to be watching me? Are they cool if I'm smoking weed in their backyard? Even it's always like, and I always talk to a host beforehand and let them know, like, I'm not trying to get one by you. If this is not your vibe, that's totally cool. But like, I'm going to be smoking hash in your backyard. Do with that information what you will. But yeah, like, and that's the other thing for these weed things. It's like, I think there's lots of people who want to throw events and stuff that are, weed friendly. And I think a lot of times the barrier to entry is finding a venue. That's always been for us. It's like, once you find a venue, like, you build it, they will come. But it's the hurdle of finding a weed venue.
And a nice burn rate. Trust me, brother. That hit me hard. I thought I was on my shit, dude. I was like, hell, so 13 people came the first day, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And then 2 people came the second time, and then 1 person came. I never had 0, but then it climbed up, and then we had one couple nights we had like 100 people.
Yeah.
You know, and you just learn the formula. But
that's like I feel like any business too. Like
Yeah.
even our homies who have stores and stuff, you got good weeks and you got slow weeks, you got good days and bad days, and sort of like you just sort of plan for the averaging out, hopefully, and hit your numbers.
so
I still believe in it though. I know someone will be able to do it.
probably gonna be you. You sound like you're gonna do some cool, at least events and shit.
I like the events. I'm definitely gun shy too. I'm not like trying to buy property right now and stuff like that for a lounge, which I do think you kind of have to do if you want it to be.
Hey, well,
Rent is just burning money for
yeah,
long periods of time, and granted, like
you gotta own it. I
Being
think, like, especially to
responsible.
be smoke indoors, and it's like you should just.
For
It's a good place
sure.
if you got some money.
because then it's like it's like
you know,
who's-
buy the land.
but I can see it. Even outdoor venues too. I mean, like you can make
get both, dude. But someone should just buy a fucking lot and make sure it's zoned properly. And there's probably so much empty lots that are zoned
there's
because they want to fucking sell it. It's like put whatever the fuck you want there. You know what I mean? And then you could literally have a little spot and
especially
then
like
outdoor
in Maine too. We got these huge, big, empty ass mills. Like
community
make a
weed
weed-friendly-
gardens.
Make a weed friendly go kart indoor
Yeah.
thing where you can choof and then drive. Like you're not gonna hurt anybody. Like it's like bumper cars. You know,
Sign
like
a waiver.
Hey,
sign a waiver.
so what I want, Trav, do me a favor here. Be a co-host with me as we get to this next chapter of this podcast. I'm trying to be more professional now, as you can see. What is a technique that I know that you like from Mission over here that you want to know more about, that you're curious about, like his unique tech, like a question for him that I know you like maybe are inspired by as a consumer of the product?
I ask a lot of questions. Adam knows that. I stay
Curious man.
being curious. Yeah.
Showing off for the show, for the people, be like, you know.
The Peter, who owns the FCP, that's what he always calls me, like our most curious correspondent. And, what would I want to ask about your tech? Okay, I'd say the limitations between a large scale, heavily funded, like let's say people that have walk-in freezers or anything you could imagine, anything you could want to buy would be there, as opposed to the polarized other end where it's a wash machine, RV wash machine,
Like
doing it outside when the weather's right and trying to replicate all that. We'll say with the freeze dryer, because I feel like I won't even go to air drying at least. You know, that's a little bit on the other end. What are the differences of quality in the tech in between, and what are the most important things? Sure. Like if you had limitless funding, you know they're going to have every gadget, even if it makes no difference. Whereas to someone that has literally the bare bones, what would be the next improvements, the tech that actually matters?
The only thing that the quality in the garden, because I think I think truly to some degree it's like, you know, if I had unlimited money and I could pay a gang of trimmers to perfectly harvest every single nugget and flash freeze and do all of that, and versus like an at-home grower doing the at-home tech, if the at-home grower's weed is grown better, it's sort of like, doesn't matter how fancy your equipment is, it'll never be like, I truly think it's all in the garden. Like I can do things, I can sort of fix things, you know, like if you have rosin that's, you know, drier than you like, I can do some things to help fix that, but like I can't make terps. I can't.
Yeah, you can't play God.
If your rosin's dark, I can't lighten that up for you. I am just a hash mechanic. I put things in water, they jostle around, and then I strain them out. So at the end of the day, like, I think technique in the washroom is important. I think it's mostly about like staying clean and like having a nice workflow and like, but yeah, the quality in the garden is always the number one. Like there's nothing that you can do besides grow better, either genetics or, you know, grow things to their highest potential. But like, and kind of like how like what we were talking about with like the orange cheese, like about like, you know, the heads and just like finding the right genetics, like things that
it's going to be what it's going to be. That's not ever going to be, you know, probably the best 6-star. It just doesn't lend itself to that ever, even if it's good other things, other things.
Doesn't matter how low I set my freeze dryer shelf temperatures. Doesn't matter how light I agitate the material in the wash, it's like at some point, like the heads are just, they have that thick, resin, like the
waxy
wall,
cuticle or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
And it's like, at some point, it's like, yeah, I can't, there's nothing I can do to change that ratio. So I think knowing, and like having the right genetics too, I feel like is also.
Well, I used to think that was like a cheat code for me when I grew weed because I wasn't good at it. I just had access to good genetics.
Half the battle.
You know what I mean? And then I was able to learn what genetics worked in my environment. I just ran those.
Yeah.
You know?
That's an awesome answer too. That's kind of along the lines of what I was hoping for. The point that you were going to make, that there's not much of a difference between the totally laced out It was great. The totally $1 million laced out facility and the guy with the RV washing it in winter. It's like, yeah, have dank.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it's the scaling of quality is hard. It's really hard. Like, and you can do it. I've seen homies who do like good sized crops and they definitely keep the quality up, but it's like, it's also so much different. Like when you're doing something for like your hobby, for like the love of the game, like you're doing like where you're literally waiting for the winter time because it's cold enough outside for you to do a wash. Like your care that you take,
you're
and
emotionally invested
you're
to a level where a 9-to-5er never will be.
I got my first video of me washing ever, and you can just feel the excitement that I'm feeling. And now it's like, it's really, as much as I love hash and stuff, making hash is just another like day at the job to
Beautiful
some degree.
thing, though, like we're talking about reaching goals.
For sure. And it's like, I'm always like, that will never not be magical to me, just like seeing weed in a cauldron and then, hash appears in a tray and like it is alchemy. But once you do it so many times, it's like you're never
you get
gonna
desensitized.
You do.
Yeah.
You're never gonna. You'll get excited about new strains sometimes, or if like a new product comes out that really helps you, like you're juiced about that. But like, yeah, those people who really only get maybe one shot a year on the outdoor, or they're only growing 3,000 grams from an indoor tent every 4 months. Like those people are usually the most, even if their stuff realistically isn't even that great, they're always so much more juiced on. And then they're also doing things that like, in a perfect world, like I would maybe want to press some of our rosin maybe a little bit lower, but I know the yield loss, like no one wants to pay more for rosin. So I sort of do things I do based on like the numbers that I need to hit versus like those guys who are literally just like, I'm going to make the best hash I can possibly do.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about the
juice
yield.
versus the squeeze. I feel like that's like quite
it's tough.
literally,
And that's hard too. Like everyone's like pressing, like that's probably where like the most variance probably is like the time and temps and people squishing. And I do think like, I don't know, you got to find your sweet spot where your quality and your yields are still, because you're never going to get a super high yield and expect that quality to stay all the way. Because if you're getting a high yield, you're either pressing it hot or for a long time or very hard, and those are not conductors of good hash, so you and I think that's sort of what like hash makers like, what like where you're getting paid, what you're getting paid for is sort of like people like your sort of methods and like your ability to run material and be consistent. Because I don't change too many parameters, but I do know sometimes like I know like certain small things I'll do on like the shelf temps for stuff, and like that'll help strain to strain. And if I know someone's giving me something that's really greasy, I'm grabbing some extra ice because I know that
it's funny how he brought up like the blue collarness. You see how he's like, I'm just like, I got the water and like you do your thing, really, but like he's like, there's a reason why people bring it to you. He's like talking about all these different things. He's making that person who gave him the product's life more easier. It's like, I'm just, I'm going to the office today.
Practically speaking,
it's got just janitors. You got a good offering to people. That's really fucking cool.
But it really is just like that last 5% though, that isn't the janitor services that really are the like, I don't want to say like problem solving, but like when things go wrong and like you've experienced it so many times that like pretty much nothing will frazzle me at this point. Like I've finished washes with no power. Like I've I've overcome any obstacle you can possibly imagine. So now it's just like, oh, that's not working. Well, least I caught it, and I can do this.
Time
And
to adjust.
nine times out of 10, I'm not even telling the farmer because there's no purpose in worrying people over nothing. But it's sort of like there's always things behind the scenes that like you gotta catch. Like a lot of times, like freeze dryers will throw a code, and 9 times out of 10 that's not a problem. I'm pretty lucky that my freeze dryer is downstairs and I pass it several times every day, so I'm kind of always.
That's the craft part of it.
That was the scary part when I was in Rhode Island, and when it was sort of like I'm going home.
Nah. Well, who's watching that shit?
I'll see you in 24 hours. Like hopefully I didn't leave the drain hose open or.
That's real craft though, guys. Like that's like some shit. That's what I really have like warmed up my heart in this trip. It's like everyone's fucking home, not even literally. You know what I mean? Like not even for everywhere I went. It's like it feels like it is, no matter what. You guys have and that's what Maine should be. Like I would love to see what you do with like an event and stuff. And I think I was just thinking about this. We'll chat a little bit as I wrap this up. Is I'm gonna come out here for Culture Cup. When's that?
Sure.
I can I think it's like in August or something like that. I could come out here with my boys, and you know how we do those like Vice Vine segments on Fridays, which is like you guys would bring me to like a breakfast spot, or we maybe go to that Bayou spot and like talk game, you know what I mean? And then we'll go to the Culture Cup and there's different characters. We could feature the poker night, and those guys are crazy about that shit, and they'll like almost could teach you. We could shoot it and do some cool shit with the hands. Yeah. And again, it would be cool characters from the scene, and we could kind of tell that story. That'd be really cool.
A poker night is a must.
Yeah, that would be
like that's culture that needs to get out there. Like these hash smoke ridden poker sessions with epic hands. Like
that's the other thing I mean too. And like, sorry to go back to the lounges and stuff, but it's like doing stuff like that where it's like you could do you poker. Like if you can just think of a couple of these things and you do them different nights, just like bars do trivia night and stuff. Like when the
grassroots approach works so well.
Yeah.
How you had it and how you had it. I think it's a hard one to scale up. Like it has to be like there's a hard middle ground, I feel, to have like a storefront like you guys. Maybe this is what I'm seeing. Like I see grassroots things working, big events or big entertainment places, like you're saying, like it's a movie theater and it's something, a go-kart, it's something else in the canas in the background. I think places that just have a wall of couches and like a TV and a PlayStation,
again,
like I don't think that is gonna last. And I think most people aren't thinking outside of the box, as you put it so well before. A lot of people are just gonna have like, I picture almost like
making petty money
desks, like school desks where everyone's rolling their weed on it. It's just like a square place where it's like, this is where you smoke weed, and like I don't know, it gets like the life sucked out of it. But grassroots, like you do it all the time. You do it so well.
That's why I want to capture it. You know what I mean? And
the story of poker night does need to be told. It's such a
we're gonna do it. That'd be fun.
It is crazy because like I think we're like 2 years in.
Close to like it's got to be at least.
Well, the way, dude, like these guys are like really good film. Like they will come in and nerd out, and you take advantage of that because I'm gonna have them do shit with the hands.
There's three.
The cast of characters is just gonna be themselves. It just needs to be captured.
We'll mic them all up. We'll mic them all up
because it's like
the breaks.
It's the food, the sessioning, and then the actual poker.
You know what you could do, guys?
And almost like the 3 poker breaks. There's like the vibe when Cody's still here.
Oh yeah.
Before you know what I mean. Put it that way. There's like the first break,
the seriousness, definitely,
and then the second break when the blinds go up just enough. It's like the vibe changes. And then by the third break when it's for money, the vibe's totally different. It's quieter. No one's really eating food anymore. The smoking's down. Yeah. It's like a fucking 3-act sitcom, like you say, like in lots of ways.
You know what you could do, bro? You put a camera right there, and you have just the visual of everyone, right? You DJI mic every single person, and you put their phone on a stand looking up at them like that. So, and then you can literally, like my boys do it, or like anyone, you could literally give them that, and they'll edit it for you.
We're starting to play with that. Like we've like
AI can do it
our
too.
Our buddy like started playing around with like 3D printed phone stands. We were gonna have everyone sort of have it.
Well, we'll start there and we'll do something cool. But
that would be great. That would be sweet as hell for sure.
Thank you guys for doing the pod. That was cool, man.
A pleasure.
Yeah,
thanks for coming.
We'll be doing it again, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Paul.
Yeah. Oh, before you show them the cheese. Before we finish out.
Oh,
I'll zoom in on it.
Super fresh off of the. This is a tester out the freeze dryer. It's not 100% yet, but we definitely wanted to try a little sample.
Almost finished product.